Hi, thank you so much for joining and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited about today's episode. We're going to kind of dive into life and business. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shayna, and I love working with. I am the founder of Catalyst Consulting, and we are a coaching and consulting company. And we focus on helping ambitious entrepreneurs scale from that $5,000 mark to 100K plus. And we do this by creating sustainable signature systems, offers, and services that allow them to scale with ease and alleviate that burnout. All right. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some things that I've been noticing in the market and how if I would have had, I believe that if I would have had this information or this background information, that this would have helped me a lot, that it wouldn't have taken me so long to grow and scale and have that predictability in my revenue and my sales. However, that's why I've created this platform and my page to kind of give that back knowledge and kind of like behind the scenes. You're seeing a lot of marketing, and if you've heard the saying that the best marketer wins, but sometimes the marketer or what they're marketing, their message, what they're trying to sell, whoever's selling something, they're going to always make sure that they're stumping on those issues and pain points because what they have, it makes sense that they're trying to sell their service and or product. It's all about selling. And so sometimes it can become confusing to understand kind of what information should you actually implement for yourself. And I always advise my clients to invest in themselves, because sometimes when you are just on social media or you're in workshops or you are participating in other activities that allow you to be in an atmosphere to learn, some things are not tailor made to your specific situation. And so when you need that type of support, it's just wise for you to invest in coaching. And it doesn't have to be one-on-one coaching. It can be group coaching, it can be masterminds, but you need to know the gap, right? That gap of knowledge is equivalent to the money that you're missing and or leaving on the table. So I want to talk about how to navigate and what information you should be implementing or receiving. And probably even heard the saying, chewing the meat, spitting out the bones, right? And so hopefully this episode is able to help you navigate that, or your situation or season that you're in, with wisdom. That's my desire. If you have any questions about anything that I say, please feel free to drop them in the comments so that we can have this discussion and continue. And of course, I would love to connect with you. So please, either subscribe to the channel, join our email list, or even sign up for a free consultation, a free or complimentary 15-minute consultation where we're able to assess where you are in your business and then create your strategic operational plan for growth. I would love to be able to connect with you. So the way that I enjoy painting a picture so that you can kind of understand the severity, but then maybe emotionally connect this need, is by giving examples or analogies. And so one of that is, today I just want to encourage you, just don't stop pushing too prematurely. The industry has shifted to a place where it talk a lot about resting, a lot about feminine sales, a lot about soft life, and we cannot actually enjoy those things until we are able to produce fruit. And in order to produce fruit, you have to work. In seasons. There's seasons of rest or periods of rest, but you cannot sit in rest and or soft girl life when it comes to your business if you're not seeing predictable and dependable sales that are able to that you're and you have a system that's able to generate these things for you so that you're not in survival. There's no way that we can actually be in survival mode and rest at the same time. Now, in seasons and different periods of our business, there can be periods of rest that should be built into you being a business owner. But then there's periods that also has to come with the work, right? With the labor, with the toil. It's a part of the process. It's actually part of the process to build you, to strengthen you, and to craft you to be the business owner and leader that you desire to be. But in order to get there, you have to do the work. So don't stop pushing prematurely. Don't, and sometimes you can feel overwhelmed. You can feel like you're doing the work and you're not seeing the fruit that you desire, but sometimes you're just doing the wrong work. If you have already begun to generate and make money and you've already have sales, that's a sign that you are working. But now we're at a place where we want to make more. How do we scale that? How do we grow that? And so sometimes you have to identify where you are, and a good metric to use is your revenue. You can be showing up, doing a lot of work, being consistent, but if your bank account is not showing that, like the fruit of your labor, then there's a gap. And that gap can be many things, but most of the times what we've seen with our clients, and this is what we help our clients through, is creating a signature system within their business structure that allows them to have rest, periods of rest, but then also have allows them to have predictable income where there's not feast and famine. And so because of this, I want you to think about, gentlemen, this may not be for you, but when you are carrying a baby and you're carrying a baby for 40 weeks plus sometimes, and if there's anything like my birthing experience, when my daughter went all the way up to the 40-week mark, but I had to get my labor induced because she still wasn't ready to come out. But there's an important part when you're in labor. You're carrying the baby, right? You're nurturing, it's growing. And you think about your business, not saying that your business is your baby, but just using this analogy, maybe you can relate. But then there's what we call the birthing canal, right? This is where you begin to push your baby through. In that birthing canal, there's a lot of things that's happening. Heart rates are increasing and are dropping. The doctor actually has to position their hands in a certain way to crown the baby head so that the baby's neck doesn't break or the cranial is not disrupted. That space is where a lot of times when it's time for you to scale in or grow, that's like the birth canal in your business. During this time, it's dark, it's messy, it's scary. You have carried the baby, right? You have fruit from, there's the fruit of your labor is the baby, is there, but now it's time to birth the baby. And before the baby actually enters into the world, right, takes his first breath, the umbilical cord is cut. There's that birthing canal space. And so in that, it's so important because that may be where you are when it's coming. And that's the difference from you making $5,000 per month and then you scaling to $10,000 per month, $20,000 per month. That birthing canal, every time you make a income or revenue jump, you're taking your business through that process of the birthing canal again. And so sometimes you even hear when the doctor is getting, like, the baby's in the birth canal, you actually hear the doctor coach the OB-GYN or the optometrist, well, optometrist, OB-GYN, tell the mother to push because the mother is tired, right? The mother is tired, the mother is crying, overwhelmed, and it's kind of like she has to conjure up that strength to give it one more push to actually birth the baby into the world. And so every time you are in that birth canal position where you are getting ready to scale, you have to push. And so, like, when you feel that's it's like a feeling, that it's like, okay, you're tired, you've been working, you're burnt out, and sometimes you may want to quit. Sometimes it may be frustrating, sometimes it may be hard. I mean, you're sweating, you've been in a game, you've been consistent, but you need to push, right? So don't stop pushing prematurely in your business, in your company, because if you do, then the next level you won't experience. Sometimes even in that birth canal situation, you can feel like you're doing something wrong. You can feel fear, all of those emotions. It doesn't matter how much money you're generating and making, you're still human, and your body goes through certain different things. The ego, the mind, is prepared always to protect us, to tell. And it's, you would think it's kind of like misalignment, but it's actually doing its job. When your mind is telling you all of the negative things, it's thinking that it's helping you and preparing you to stay away from, or alert to protect yourself. But really, you have to have dominion over that and begin to say, okay, I know that I'm in that birthing canal position, space in my business. I have to push, right? I have to keep going. I have to continue to build up even stronger resistance. I have to look at my environment. I have to do what works for me. I maybe have to invest. I know the answers out there. These are some things that may come up. So sustainability is important, and it's important for you to understand that with sustainability even still requires work. There's time for rest, right? There's a period of time. Work may look different. So working from a standpoint of survival and or working from a standpoint of sustainability is totally different. The difference working with from survival is only being income revenue growth driven. you're not looking at data. Maybe you are doing the behind the scenes looking at data, but the goal or your heart posture of why you're doing it is because, okay, I'm trying to beat last year. I'm trying to beat this person. I'm trying to beat the odds. Sustainability says, hey, this is my business. This is my company. I am actually making decisions that are based off of data that works for the company, even if it goes against how I may feel internally right now. I'm making a decision to no longer scale and grow. I'm looking at a place to just sustain because I want to take time to clean up my systems. I want to take time to perfect my craft. That's sustainability. Those are things that you can sustain, but then within that sustainability, build rest in as well. So these are some things to kind of think about when you are having like those internal or mental battles with yourself to say, okay, is this a time to sustain? Is this a time to scale? Is it time to grow? And or am I operating from a place of like survival? These are things to review. And so, in order for you to implement those signature systems and scale and services within your company, you have to know who you are and what do you need. Because the head, the body, the team, the head goes, where the leader goes. And so if you're not self-aware, if you're not connecting with yourself on a deeper level to say, hey, what's going on here? Am I self-sabotaging? Am I talking myself out of that scaling or growth phase? Do I identify that I'm in the birthing canal position within my company, but am I running? Did I lose breath? Did I give up? Some these are things that you want to kind of think about and review. And then once you identify what's your need as the leader, as the company, as the CEO of your company, where you are within the season of your business, then we can implement those systems, right? We can then implement strategy behind that. But first, you have to have like that depth understanding of self awareness. And sometimes you don't know. So that's why investing in coaching and consulting can really, really help you scale and jump and grow and be at a steady pace and in a healthy way. And so we help our clients create a signature system and operational plan around who they are in the season that they are, identifying the vision that they have. And those are three different components. We have to assess where you are, what you're doing, and what's working, what's not working, but then where do you desire to be? And we create a plan around that specifically for you. And so we are actually doing this during our business income impact hour. And I want to invite you to actually go ahead and sign up for that because this is something that we don't offer all the time, but this is something that we've been pushing and it's been like life changing for a lot of coaches and consultants. And so this is something I believe that you can benefit from. Having that signature system within your business allows you to scale and grow at a more sustainable way, right? So that you're not all over the place, you're not wasting your time, and you have a safe space to actually be you and to kind of have that time to self-evaluate to identify where you are, where you're needing, what you need, and where you're trying to go. Systems create like that spaciousness within who you are, but then also within your company that allows you to have time for rest, allows you to have time for growth, allows you to have sabbatical. You don't have to trade growth for rest. You can actually have both. And it's seasonal and it's in certain things you have to do, but we can create systems around that allows you to have that periods of rest, but then also the periods of work. And that's all done by creating that spaciousness, by creating systems within your company and within your business. If this is something that you would like support with, if you would benefit from having a signature system or operational plan within your company, I would love to connect with you. Down below, you'll see how you can sign up for our business impact hour sessions and also a complimentary 15-minute one-on-one session, consulting session. So please feel free to connect with us. Hopefully, something I've said that you've been able to kind of implement and digest and take within yourself or within your company. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye.